right, guys, we just learned about how to use the tangent button on your calculator to look up what is basically a slope ratio in a triangle to let you have a triangle that is similar to the one you're working with to solve the problem. This is kind of video notes and an example in case you missed that day or just need a refresher. So here's the basic idea. If I was solving a triangle problem like this, I have no idea how to solve it. There's just not enough information to do it. You can't use just this angle, that side, and that 90 to figure out this side. You need more information. It would be nice if you had a triangle that was similar to this one that you knew more about. And previously, we'd actually been building them using a computer tool where we could draw a line on a graph and construct a slope triangle. And when we did that, we knew the slope triangle would have a 90-degree angle in it, and we could adjust the line to whatever angle we wanted. For example, we could do it as like a 28-degree angle. And then when we did that, the graphing calculator could tell us the slope, right? And then we could use that, again, thinking about this being the rise and this being the run, and we could use similar triangles, connect the rise to this triangle and the run, and we could use that triangle to solve the problem. But you don't usually have that graphing calculator tool when you're solving problems. Instead, you might have a calculator like this one. So we're gonna learn how do we use a calculator like this one to do a problem like this. Well, instead of looking up the slope by building it on a graphing calculator, you can use the tangent button on your calculator. So basically, when you write down tan 38, and you type that in your calculator, you're telling your calculator to look up the rise over the run, the slope ratio for a 28-degree angle. I realized I said 38 and I wrote down 38. Geez, 28. That's a 28, isn't it? Okay, there we go. So that is the slope of a 28-degree angle, and you're telling your calculator to look that up for you. On different calculators, some of them you'll type in the 28 first and then press tan. On other calculators, you'll press tan first and then press 28. On some calculators, your tan button will be hidden in a menu like this one. On other calculators, like on your phone, you might have to rotate your phone sideways to make it appear. Either way, you need to figure out how it works on yours, but if you press on mine, I do 28 first and then tangent. The idea is that it'll give you a number that's this big ugly decimal thing. So figure out how to get that number on your calculator. I'm just gonna round this to the nearest 2 decimal points, which would be 0.53. Let's write that down. So that's 0.53. Now we need to keep in mind what this actually is. It's actually the slope of a triangle like this, right? It's that slope. And it's not written as a rise over a run, but if you wanted to, you could put a 1 on the bottom, so you could think of it as a rise over a run. All we need to do now is write down the slope of our triangle that we're working with, and make sure we do that thinking of it as being similar to a triangle oriented like this, because that's how your calculator is thinking about it when it gives you this number. So which one should we consider the rise and which one should we consider the run if we had to imagine this whole thing rotating around? Well, we learned a trick to that, which is basically that if it's rotated the way your calculator's thinking about it, there's 2 sides that create the angle, and the third side is called the opposite side. That's always gonna be like the rise. So in your triangle, no matter how it's rotated, find the 2 sides that create the angle you typed in, and you know that your calculator is thinking of that side as being the rise. That's being your opposite side. So when we're doing our rise over run fraction, we're gonna put that on top, and then the run will be paired up as to make the 90-degree angle with your rise. So in this case, that would be the 14. So you would put the 14 on the bottom. Now from here, I'm gonna put a line through my z so you can tell it's not a 2. Anyway, all we need to do now is solve this equation. Now there's lots of right ways to solve this equation. You can really just multiply both sides by 14, but I know some of you guys are used to solving 2 equal fractions using cross multiplication, so I will show that method since I know that's what most of you guys like. So we'll do 1 times z is z, and the other diagonal would be 14 times 0.53. Let's type that in our calculator. 14 times 0.53. And that gets us about 7.42. Now this is a rounded answer because I rounded this tangent thing as 0.53. If you really wanted to get a more accurate answer, you could have done the 28 and then got your tangent thing, and you could have done that whole big thing times 14, and that'll get you a slightly more accurate answer. So it is closer to 7.44, really. But I'm not gonna be too picky since we just learned this, and this is probably the easiest way for you guys to think about it right now. All right, guys, that's the basic idea of how to solve a problem using tangent. As always, let me know if you have any questions, and hope you have an excellent day.